Good morning, everyone. It's another Wednesday here at Empire's Comics Vault and Empire'sCV.tv, and we're here to talk about the new books, let you know what's going on with us around here. First things first, we have an event this Saturday, the 10th of August. It's Creative Women Mini-Con here at Empire's Comics. We've got a dozen guests. They're going to have art. They're going to have books. They're going to be on hand to talk to you about how they've done it, getting started yourself, and just really celebrating the women in comic books because although women are a huge readership, they are underrepresented on the creative side. So that's why we want to do this. We want to give them some love. Come on down, talk to them, pick up some of their prints, some of their books, and just have a good time. It's 11 a.m. this Saturday till 4. Also, we are closing at 6 to go to roller derby, so you should come join us. And there's a sale all day Saturday. The info's on our Facebook. Hopefully you got the email. If not, let me know so we can sign you up. If you're a saver, there was another email that went out, so make sure that you got that because it gives you a power up on the sale bonuses. So, Union Street Choir. Some are still available. They are going fast. This is a limited edition sketch by Heinenu. We did very limited covers on these. They're all hand drawn by him. So just ask me for more info when you come in. I think that's about it. Let's get into the books. Oh, one more thing. This isn't a new book, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed Diggle, and I want you guys to try it out. It's got a crime noir feel to it. I use noir too much. It doesn't have a noir. It's got a crime feel, modern day. This is a hustler who's living in Asia, trying to make money, scamming off the mob. Not a good idea. The thing that really sets him apart is he has a special ability that if he touches you, he can take your memories, your abilities. It's a very limited time, but it comes in handy when, say, a mobster's bodyguard starts attacking him. Really good book, great art, really fits the bill on this one. We're doing a special. You can get 1 and 2 for $5. It saves you $3. It's right by the register to remind you, but it's a great book. I want people to enjoy it. So 1 and 2, $5 flat. All right, okay. I honestly did not order enough of these, and I ordered a lot more than I would of any Vertigo book. But when I read it, it was beautiful. It is, you see, it's a flip book. So it's got that going for it, and we don't need to say any more. No, it's drawn and written by our man Jeff Lemire. You guys should read Lost Dogs if you haven't read it. Underwater Welder is incredible. They're all heart-wrenching. They all just pull you down to the bottom, but I love those kind of stories. So this one, though, is a love story. It's got two sides. We've got a man who has basically been scarred from World War I and his adventures afterwards. We've got a young woman in the future trying to fight a sentient virus that is destroying the human race and left us with only 4,000 people. How do they connect? You got to read it, but it's great. Each side tells a different era, and at the very end, well, I don't want to give it away, but Lemire is awesome. So that is my favorite book. Again, I didn't order enough. I'm going to do a reorder. If you want it, let me know. I can pop it aside for you. Coming out, actually 2 books coming out of Age of Ultron. We got Hunger, we got Avengers AI, and essentially time and space was fractured by Age of Ultron. Things were torn asunder and mixed up just a little bit. You got Angela here in Guardians last week. She was fighting them. It was a really good episode. And then you've got Galactus, who shows up in the Ultimate Universe. Now, Galactus in the Ultimate Universe is Galactus. He's this man-made creature that essentially destroys worlds. He's still out there. We open up with the Kree and the Chitauri, who are from the movie and now part of this universe. We see them here in the Ultimate Universe for the first time. They were in the Infinity prequel that's going to lead into Infinity that starts next week. It's going to be a beautiful book. But on to Hunger, that's going to slam. That wasn't so bad. Hunger is the book where Galactus shows up at the end of the last issue. The Kree and the Chitauri are in the middle of a fight. We've got Rick Jones, who's been given godlike powers by the Watcher, and actually that was a couple years ago in the Ultimate Universe. I don't think we've seen Rick since then. He's back. He doesn't really want his powers. He doesn't want his job, but he's continually prompted by this being who has some kind of control over him and forced into fighting Galactus. Norrinrad's in it, the Norrinrad from the Ultimate Universe, not our universe, and as Galactus comes in, he essentially swallows up the old Galactus, taking all of his powers, taking all of the machines that he used to colonize worlds, and then turning them against this new Ultimate Universe. So this is Norrinrad, Rick Jones coming head to head with him, and at the end it leaves the Earth in a very bad spot. So whether you're an Ultimate fan or just a regular Galactus fan, you get the best of both worlds there. Avengers AI, this one has a lot like I always talk about X-Men Legacy, but that one has an extremely British feel to it, a hardcore sci-fi, and this one has a lot of the same feel. Coming out of Age of Ultron, Hank Pym destroyed Ultron by actually setting well, I don't want to give it away in case you haven't read it, you can do the trade, but he ends up beating Ultron, but at the same time creating a new strain of AI. This one follows our heroes, who are all artificial intelligences, as they begin to track down this AI, this rogue AI that is intent on continuing what Ultron started. Not because he's loyal to Ultron, not because any of that, but because ultimately any machine that gets sentience is going to realize just what we've done to them and how bad we've been. So it's an interesting book written in a very European style. It reminds me very much of reading some 2000 ADs. Well, he's got two this week, actually. Straczynski is on fire. He can't be stopped. You've got 10 grand, of course, if you guys haven't been reading that. It is a horror. Templesmith, I always want to say Niles, they go hand in hand. Steve Niles. Templesmith does the art with this one. It is a heaven and hell with a twist. We've got a detective who, well, he's a detective now. He was a mob enforcer who died, got recruited by the good side to fight for them, with the promise that every time he dies, he gets to spend 5 minutes with his love, who is in heaven. So he does this continually, and then gets to spend it's just a tease. It's ridiculous. 5 minutes so that he can go do it all again. Great book, beautiful art. But the next one he did was Sidekicks. It had almost a realistic Boys feel, if that makes sense, because the Boys took comics through all of these things out there about how these superheroes would just be decadent, about how they would abuse their powers. Who watches the Watchmen of sorts, or essentially was what the Boys was, with a real comedy twist. This takes that, but it's set more in a realistic environment. These people have superheroes. We're following one particular sidekick who just doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's always in the shadows. He uses his authority and his abilities to do things he probably shouldn't. But at the same time, he's remorseful. He doesn't like himself. He doesn't like what he's doing. And it just kind of goes from there. And when he breaks apart from his hero, what is he going to do with his life? It was interesting. I haven't seen anything quite like it. There's 2 covers for it. You guys have probably seen the one they keep promoting with the red cowl standing all, powerful, and the sidekick in the background. It was worth a read if you like Straczynski. If you don't, or if you just want to see a new take on superheroes, that was a fun book. Abe Sapien, BPRD. I'm not going to say much about this. If you guys aren't on BPRD, they have a lot of minis. They have a lot of places you can jump on, but the best way to do it is start at number 1. This is interesting because you get to see the other characters besides Hellboy. You get to see the people who aren't as important, who are not as important. I didn't mean that, because they are important. They're keeping the world safe. They're not as powerful, they're not as prominent, and they're not as popular. This one in particular, Abe Sapien, he is out on his own trying to figure out kind of his place in the new world and what's going on, because the new world is really messed up in this. Demons have popped up out of the earth. The Cthulhu-like beings are coming out of the ocean, and they're just tearing the world apart. The BPRD is doing their best to keep things in line. Abe Sapien's gone rogue. The BPRD is trying to track him down, but this is a much more character-driven book than the rest of them. And let's see, what else do we have here? We've got some, this is a cool cover. Jean Grey and the Beast. I don't know how I feel about that, but Jean Grey, I like her. She's no Kitty Pryde. We've got, this is a great one. Just the cover alone. Hobgoblin's back, and Hobgoblin's fighting Doc Ock. It's always interesting to see how Doc Ock approaches this, and ultimately, more important, how they approach Doc Ock, because they're not used to this Spider-Man. They're not used to the dirty play that he does. We've got more Infinity prequels. You've got I'm going to keep showing it just because there's only 2 more after this. We're going to miss you, Peter. I miss you already. I'm not afraid to admit that I love you, Peter. You're awesome. Catalyst Comics. That's a real fun new one from Image. We've got, these are old books that I read. And I keep mentioning this one, but this one is getting underrated. And it's really fun. You know what, maybe, just try it. It's Clive Barker. It's really disturbing. Somebody uncovers God, and God is not what we envisioned. So definitely a top shelf book, and really worth the read. So thank you guys. I think that's about it. I'll see you on the 10th, 11 a.m. to 4 for Creative Women in Comics, or Mini Comics, Mini-Con. We'll do that again. Creative Women Mini-Con. And then Roller Derby at 6. Don't forget, we're closing at 6. So if you want to take advantage of the sale, you have from 11 to 6 only. Thank you very much.